You have got to believe. When they came to the other disciples, they saw a large crowd around them and the teachers of the law arguing with them. As soon as all the people saw Jesus, they were overwhelmed with wonder and ran to greet him. "What are you arguing with them about?" he asked. A man in the crowd answered, "Teacher, I brought you my son who is possessed by a spirit that has robbed him of speech. Whenever it seizes him, it throws him to the ground. He foams at the mouth, gnashes his teeth, and becomes rigid. I asked your disciples to drive out the spirit, but they could not." "You unbelieving generation," Jesus replied, "how long shall I stay with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring the boy to me." So they brought him. When the spirit saw Jesus, it immediately threw the boy into a convulsion. He fell to the ground and rolled around, foaming at the mouth. Jesus asked the boy's father, "How long has he been like this?" "From childhood," he answered. "It has often thrown him into the fire or water to kill him. But if you can do anything, take pity on us and help us." "If you can," said Jesus. "Everything is possible for one who can believe." Immediately, the boy's father exclaimed, "I do believe. Help me overcome my unbelief." Mark 9, verses 14 to 24. Hello, my friend. This is Clyde. How many of us have faith issues? I'm talking about praying for something, trusting God for something, and nothing is happening. Probably you feel that God is ignoring you or that you don't have enough faith. Or for some of us, it might be that you're thinking you don't get this faith thing. Let us revisit the Mark 9 story of how Jesus healed the kid with a demonic spirit to help us walk victoriously by faith. Here we find Jesus and the big three, Peter, James, and John, returning from their mini retreat on the Mount of Transfiguration. They ran into a commotion between the other 9 disciples and a group of teachers of the law. Jesus asked the disciples why the argument, and this is what followed. This man out of nowhere told Jesus how the disciples could not drive out the evil spirit from his son, who has been plagued with this spirit for quite some time. Jesus said, "You unbelieving generation, how long shall I stay with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring the boy to me." Who was Jesus addressing? Was it the disciples who could not drive out the demon spirit out of the kid? Could it be everyone standing around there? Well, let's find out. Jesus asked that the boy be brought to him. Now pay close attention to the details. The demon threw the kid into a convulsion. Jesus asked the dad, "How long has he been like this?" Dad said, "From childhood. But if you can do anything, take pity on my son and help us." Jesus replied, "If you can, everything is possible for one who believes." Dad is deeply invested in this opportunity for his son to be healed. The disciples couldn't heal his son. He comes to Jesus instead, and he still says, "If you can." But this time when Jesus repeated it to him and said, "Everything is possible for one who believes," listen to his response. "I do believe. Help me overcome my unbelief." Jesus healed the boy in that moment. What is it that you see in this story? Where is the faith thing? Probably I am the only one who is coming into a real revelation through this story. Jesus called the disciples unbelieving generation. Jesus sensed the dad's penitence. But if you can do anything, take pity on us and help us. Now I think we're getting closer to the climax of the story. Jesus said to this father, "If you can," in other words, do you know who you are speaking with, that you would turn to me and say, "If you can do anything"? Jesus then goes on to say, everything is possible for one who believes. Let's stop there. At the core of the problem is faith, and specifically belief. Belief, my friend, is the epicenter of faith. Remove belief and there is no faith. Our renowned father of faith, Abraham, had heard from God that his offspring would inherit the promised land. They would be as numerous as the stars in the sky. Guess what? Abraham believed the Lord and he credited it to him as righteousness. Genesis 15 verses 1 through 6. When you go over to Hebrews 11 and you read the list of faith heroes, you see that these guys, they had faith. Behind their faith was their belief. By faith, the walls of Jericho fell after the army had marched around them for 7 days. Hebrews 11 and verse 30. The children of Israel heard God's plan. March around the thick high walls of Jericho once every day for 6 days without a sound. On day 7, they marched around 6 times, and on the 7th time, the priests sounded the trumpet blast, and Joshua commanded the army, "Shout, for the Lord has given you this city." And what happened? The walls of the great city of Jericho came tumbling down. They believed, my friend, and did what God told Joshua to get them to do. Then there was Rahab the prostitute who showed faith and she was saved. What did it for her? She believed what the 2 Jewish spies had promised to do for her and her family. She did it and they were saved. What exactly made the Red Sea part so that Hebrews could go over on dry land? Moses believed God when he told him, "Stretch out your hand over the Red Sea," and the events were exactly what God promised. The sea parted and the people walked over on dry land. I get it. I really get it. And that is why I am excited to share this with you. If you are going to have faith, my friend, whether it is mustard seed faith or a gigantic faith, your faith has to be identified by your belief. In other words, faith without believing is not faith at all. The father of the boy that was possessed by the evil spirit said to Jesus, "I do believe. Help me overcome my unbelief." I want to close off with a popular scripture. Early in the morning, as Jesus was on his way back to the city, he was hungry. Seeing a fig tree by the road, he went up to it, but found nothing on it except leaves. Then he said to it, "May you never bear fruit again." Immediately the tree withered. When the disciples saw this, they were amazed. "How did the fig tree wither so quickly?" they asked. Jesus replied, "Truly I tell you, if you have faith and do not doubt, not only can you do what was done to the fig tree, but also you can say to this mountain, 'Go throw yourself into the sea,' and it will be done. If you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for." If you want your faith to work for you, my friend, believe totally. That's what the text above says to us. If you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer. Are you now ready to walk by faith and not by sight?